the entire first round of Top Fuel.
First round of Top Fuel Eliminator.
Michael Anderson.
Jimmy Young, the Auto Club lane.
Ryan Hall.
Bam.
Here we are again. Check it out. What do we have right here? 2024 Kings of the Sport podcast, episode number 3, March meet recap with Jimmy Young, Michael Anderson, and me. Fancy. We're so fancy. This is crazy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was pretty official right there, man. Like, I feel like that we're getting better. I love that intro though. Like, I can watch that thing over and over. Like, Peter did a phenomenal job on that. Really made us look cool. And it's our first time to have Jimmy really on the show now, right? Or no? He was on the first episode. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
First time with Jimmy remoting in. Actually from his own location, not at your place, right?
Yeah. So, congratulations on Jimmy making it to the show.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Obviously, we're going to talk about, we're going to kind of sum up the March meet a little bit. I got some pictures and some videos and some stuff to show there. First thing, what happened to the Kings of the Sport, the real Kings of the Sport drag race? The runoff, what happened with that? I wasn't there. I'll talk a little bit about that. I won't dwell on what my deal was, but I'll give a little explanation why you guys didn't see me there. But what happened out there?
I think it was probably a couple of things. One being the weather. Probably the second largest thing was probably the Great Expectations car hadn't qualified well for the race yet. And was struggling to get down the track. So I don't think they really want to get out there and dust it up with old Cottrell and Bucky Austin. Because I think they went out there and laid down a 61 or some shit like that, just right off the bat. So yeah, if I was going to guess, that was it. But yeah, the whole race was behind. It's just a bunch of shitty weather. That's all there was to it, right? Just like we expected.
I think we're trying to drag race first, right? Instead of doing some weird off-brand thing. Everybody's trying to qualify and probably in the heat of the moment, I would imagine. From home, my perspective, it looked like just like you guys were just trying to run whenever you could, whenever the rain stopped and all that crap. You notice anything out there, Jimmy, that you want to talk about?
I don't understand how they were going to run a funny car versus a dragster during qualifying. I don't know how they're going to intermix a class like that to begin with. I mean, if you're going to run with NHRA rules, you kind of got to stick by the rules. I've never heard of them running a funny car and a dragster and allowing that in as a qualifying run. I can see doing it as a test, which if that was the case, they should have done it on Thursday.
Right.
We had beautiful weather on Thursday.
They're pretty typical for the March meet. The test sessions, beautiful weather. You start getting into qualifying, the rain kind of rolls in. It kind of seems like that's how it's been the last handful of years, at least 5, except for the year we ran it in May. So you guys battled some weather. I was also battling some weather up here. I'll go into a little bit about that now. I don't know if I talked about it on the last show, but I know I said there was a chance I might not be able to go due to the nature of my job, and drag racing comes like 4th or 5th down the line for me of what's important in my life. Sometimes I feel like it's everything, but I'm not going to be homeless to go drag racing. So I put it out there. I don't know if everybody sees everything on Facebook, but I got stuck at work. It's not the first time that's happened for me. We're out there working on the levees, and when the river gets a certain level, I have to go to work. We lost Jimmy. All right. So yeah, I have to go
keep rolling.
I have to go to work. They mandate it. They say, basically I don't have an option unless I want to quit and get another job, which Michael offered me. But, so yeah, what I do is like we work on the levees and the river gets a certain level and then we're just stuck. And sometimes I wished I were that guy right there. I could have dammed some stuff up. No, thanks to Jordan for that. That was pretty funny when I was bored out of time patrolling the levees. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't there. It wasn't the first time. But
the old big brown beaver hunter right there, baby.
I won't say what we do to those things, but yeah.
Oh my God! No,
permit.
there was plenty of people there that knew what was going on with you. I asked a lot of questions. Kind of explained what's what. And like you said, not a lot of people know what we do outside of just at the drag races because it's such a small deal. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of explaining to them. Hey, man, this is what it is, and the majority of us got some kind of real job that's got to pay the damn bills. So you got to go do that first before you go play.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to watch most of it from a work truck because I was on during the day. Luckily, I wasn't working the night shift this year. So I did get to log on and see all the live streams and they don't really have a good, like they used to have Bang Shift, which is kind of cool, but there were some good dudes out there, filming stuff from their phones and looks like Jimmy's back.
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi now, so we'll see how it works.
All right.
Look way better.
Back, Jimmy. Yeah, there's some good live videos. Jimmy was texting me and messaging me and FaceTiming me a lot, make me really wished I was there, which kind of sucked. But it looked like a lot of guys were putting down really good numbers once, and everybody had a big screw up at least once. It looked like a tricky track. I wasn't there to know, but tell us about it. Was there, I talked to Van Horn a lot too, and he said that, he was having big troubles this weekend. And first thing I told him was go check his tire pressure gauge because I ran into what looked like the exact same issue all last year. So.
Yeah, there was a big swing in the weather. You really got to stay on your tune-up the whole time because it was real easy to get over center with everything. So if you stayed up on the tune-up and made sure you didn't misstep what you were doing, you'd be fine. But the track wasn't all that good. Sunday was really good, and Saturday they did the best they could with what they had to work with. But between the rain and just the cold temperatures and overcast, it was really hard to get track temperature.
Yeah, man, Friday night, man, it dropped dramatically. And, y'all raced out there way more than I have, but you talk to anybody, they say once that sun gets past a certain point, that track changes heavily. I think, if I remember right, Hester was the only one that got down the track and laid down the actual lap. And I think he laid down that 87, like with a pedal.
Yeah.
Like that night, right? So, I mean, it just kind of goes to show you go make fun. I think I ran kind of early in the group, and when we're coming back, you just hear, then idle down the track, it was just, and then even with the funny cars and everything. So, yeah, it's great. Yeah, Thursday was badass. I mean, like everybody's just sitting there like, why aren't we qualifying today? But I think I didn't look at the air density, too much. Jimmy was taking care of all that, but there was a pretty big swing in the air density from Thursday to Friday and then Saturday even to Sunday.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes it kind of a tuner's race, right? Which is I like that kind of race myself because it gives the high horsepower guys that are always jamming every single time on the good tracks, gives a guy like me who's been kind of marginal sometimes a chance to maybe outdrive someone or out-tune somebody, when it counts. So that's always fun. I sucked I couldn't be there, but let's go into some, I think I got some qualifying. What is this? Okay, so that's the final qualifying order. So we got Hester, that 87 happened in the first session. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So that's...
No, that's Q. No, I think he did that Q2, right? Or Q1? Was it Q1 or Q? No, Q2. Because we ran each other every qualifier. So no, we ran the first two qualifiers together. So yeah, so that right there was nighttime Q2.
Right, and then Bowen shows up, and he's had a lot of gremlins the last couple of years at Bakersfield in particular. I know he goes to some of Jimmy's races and lays down some big numbers, but he hasn't had too much luck at Bakersfield. But he managed to squeak an 85 in there. And from my end, I don't really remember a whole lot exactly what he did on all the other rounds, but he ended at number 7, which is pretty crazy that 87 was the bump spot. And I think even the reunion last year, I was number 8 with an 88. So we've been pretty consistent, it looks like, with our numbers as far as qualifying.
Right.
I think that's kind of crazy. And then Brett Williamson at number 6 with a 585.2. They had like kind of a weird looking weekend too. They got in the show, and then I don't know what happened first round. They ran like a 6.0 something, or
spun the tires. Yeah, he went out there and spun the tires too on that deal. But hey, hats off to that group though, man, to go from what they had going on at the Hot Rod reunion, just a few months prior to where they're at now. I know that, like I said, talking with Brett, they tore that car down pretty heavy, to get back there. The guys, were pretty much all smiles getting into the show and laying that down.
And then we'll go into number 5. Michael Anderson makes the 8-car field with a 583 at 236 miles an hour. 36 miles an hour.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, buddy.
You found it twice this weekend, and my coworkers at work must have thought I was nuts, because this right here, dude. How freaking excited were you? Let's hear about it.
No, man, it was it was great. I don't, it was a couple of awesome runs, man. Me and Jimmy have done a lot, and me, Jimmy, and everybody, but definitely me and Jimmy, worked pretty goddamn relentless on getting this to where it's at, and in the end, all I did was push the gas and drive the damn car, but. It's him pointing me in the right direction, and you pointing me in the right direction. People helping out. I mean, I don't know how many, hundreds of man hours of just talking on the goddamn phone to get to that point. But it was cool, man. Like we saw, whenever it ran the 590, we had, good track conditions. Everything was there. Car sounded great. I mean, we did that testing before. And the numbers look pretty good there. And our biggest concern at that point was, that rear main bearing. They dropped that deal like everything looked new. It was all smiles. So, I mean, like, he went up there and he just said, man, just drive it. Get it down the track. Keep it in the middle. And it ought to run the number. And went down there and, was running damn good. I was running with Hester. We were side by side. So, they're running tough. So, you're running good whenever you're side by side on that shit. So, and went down there pretty good, and then let off the damn gas, blah blah blah. Went through the lights, had no idea where the hell we're at. Hester comes by me, yelling out the cage at me, blah blah. And I'm hung up in my damn seatbelt shit, and get around the corner, still don't know. And this dude comes running up on a bicycle. And he's like, you ran it, and I was like, are you shitting me? And then it was all over from there, man. It was really, and I ain't going to take nothing away from that overtime group at all, because this is a huge deal for them. But I'm going to take on qualifying, if you could have won a qualifying with a 590, that crowd loved it. So it was cool. It was badass, man.
We talked about this a little bit last week, and I had a guess of 87, I think that's what it was for your first 5-second run. And I kind of figured you were going to do it right off the trailer. And we were all pretty close about that. Jimmy, how excited was Michael?
Oh, yeah, he was excited. And, leading up to this has been multiple seasons with the Chevy, and then converting to the Chrysler mid-season last year. And it would spin the rear main bearing. If it went past the 660, the rear main bearing was spun every run. So we were scratching our heads, different blocks, different cranks, different engine combinations completely. But there was 2 things that were consistent. That was the clutch, and that was the oil that we were running. So I'm like, if we're going to, try to run this, let's eliminate everything. So your clutch is on it. And It always worked in my car. That's what we put in it. I said, well, if it spins the rear main now, I don't know what we're going to do. So the rear main looked perfect after that first test. And I'm like, all right, well, now we can wick the thing up, because every time we'd get any power into it, it would just spin the bearings in the thing. So we got the oiling system seems to be dialed in, and he was pretty excited. I mean, I was happy too. After I flew down there, and me, Michael, and James, we dug into that car for about a week and went through everything from the front tires all the way to the chute packs on that thing. And we had a next day air blower stripping in, because both blowers were totally fried. Not even knowing that, but It all paid off.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. If you're watching, thanks, Glenn.
He always comes through for us. There's no doubt about it.
For sure. Yeah, the blower shop, great dudes. I got one of the blowers on my car. Yep. They're right by the racetrack in Boise. They're great dudes. I'm glad to have one of their products on my car now, and I think I think the March Meet 2024 champion might have one of those blowers on in their car too. We'll get into that a little bit, but here, Michael, I got the video of you at the top end screaming inside your car about your seatbelt. So, and I think you can hear Tyler go by and kind of like maybe give you a little hell yeah. So let's see if we can see that.
What the fuck?
Oh man,
man, and y'all know I get. And probably everybody in where we park at in the pits know now about how intense I can get about something. I think I scared the hell out of a few people, but yeah, I was pretty wound up at that time trying to get out of the car. So I don't know where that strap was, but it was not in the right spot, and I couldn't get out. And it just came out. So there you go. But we made it. All is good.
All right, I got another video to show you since we're on the topic. I will just get all over all this Michael Anderson stuff right now. Jordan from Drag Packs went ahead and made you a little prize. Me and Sean and Jordan kind of had a little group chat going. We thought it'd be funny to make you a little gift for your first 5-second pass. So here's a video of that.
Take that hat off.
Oh, what you got?
My second hat.
Oh my God!
There you go, that crown.
Oh damn! Yeah. Good times, man. That's what it's all about. It's good times.
Yeah, man. How much fun is that? Just to have your friends around you. You run your first 5. You're down there with, just all your people. We all talk to each other every single day, and we only get to hang out with each other at racetracks. So goddamn bummed I missed that. But there's videos, and there'll be another one, and I'll be there when you run your first 60. How about that?
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm just happy where we ended up. All in all, no matter what, there wasn't one time that I really kind of lost it or did anything stupid, set the chutes off or anything like that. So it was good. It was a good weekend, a great learning experience. It was cool to see, all y'all's hard work, actually show up, and the car did, phenomenal. Can't thank Jimmy enough and I put a deal out today saving me from me. So there you go.
To go into that, so we ran a 590 in Q1, and then we waited, the nighttime was Q2. So, we basically knew we had to step it up. And, we didn't get down the track in Q2. The only one to get down the track that night was Hester. So that run was basically thrown away. So the next day we're sitting here waiting, and we're watching the bump get lowered and lowered and lowered. And then by the time we realized it, we're on the outside looking in, and we're like, this thing's got to go in 80 to get us in. And
Right.
Michael drove the wheels off that thing. He did a really good job, brought it back in, and the scoreboard lit up with an 83. I'm like, well, we're in. That was more rewarding to me than the 590, because that's deep in the 5. That car is actually reacting to the changes we make to it now.
Right. Not only did he run in the 5s for the first time ever, he did it, not a 599 with a 9. He also backed it up the next run.
Yep.
And we'll watch that video here. You can see him drive the wheels off it. I made a comment on that post too. I was like, dude, hell yeah, you're a freaking driver, a badass. I like it. So let's check it out.
Woo! 583, 236.
I'll tell you what's crazy about that deal is, and y'all know what's cool about having everybody on this show like this is, like, they're drivers and tuners and been around these cars. So in your mind, mentally, y'all know what it's like being in these cars, and like everything's going through your mind of don't screw it up to not get a time, right? Like, don't forget this, but reaction time don't mean shit whenever we're qualifying. So it's like, just don't screw it up. And I was asking like, hey, who's in the other lane, next to me? And, they said it was Stewart. So, pedal clutch car. In your mind, you got to be thinking pedal clutch car, right? Like, okay, they're going to stage, listen for the car to go up, move it, then move it. Same with Bowen. I mean, I've been with him a couple of times in the lanes. It's just the way we do it. And man, I saw him. I heard him rip it, and then I saw it deep stage, and that you're only inches away from where that's going to go, and then what's going to go on with the tree. And so then I just stopped. Like you can see me in the car, just like, we're going to take a second, make sure everything's good. He held the car, boom, take off. I was like, oh, we got a time now, baby. And I told everybody, I was like, that's something that's going to make it to the stripe, upside down, backwards, on the wall. I don't give a shit. It is going to go all the way through the damn thing. I mean, but anyways, it was good. Man, we made it. I was pumped about it. And I still didn't know I ran 83. Had no goddamn idea until they told me. And I was like, oh, we racing on Sunday, baby.
And it's on its way to run a 70. It just, it keeps on burning number 3 piston. It's really sensitive for some reason to that hole. I mean, any changes we're making to it, it just doesn't do anything. So we're going to change the plumbing around a little bit for the next time out. And, Rick and Tyler's car was the same way because they're similar combinations, different bore. There's some differences between the two, but they're both really sensitive to jetting. So it's you got to really be watching what you're doing when you're making changes.
Great.
Yeah, man. And we haven't ever got to, you fix, one thing, right? Like we fixed the bearing problem. So, okay, like we can run it harder and get the bearing problem. Well, you don't know what what's going to be the next little tickle, man, because you had never got that far.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say you're going to do something whenever it had never got that far in the car. I mean, I haven't ran that hard. Like you can learn how to drive the car, and whenever it runs a 620, and then you go run a 590 or a 580, that's a completely different car. Yeah. Your reaction, I'm on just I think even going back and watching my GoPro videos that I was reacting to the car being so fast by even going too much instead of just easing it in just because I'm amped up, But it's a learning experience. That's all there is to it.
Whenever I'm trying to help someone learn how to drive one of these things, and like the biggest thing is like knowing where you're at on the track and letting your mind process it. The more laps you get, the quicker your mind processes everything, and it actually starts slowing down. A 580 run will feel like a dog before too long.
Oh
yeah.
For sure.
I mean, you can go all the way back to the test. Now we were just going to make an 8th mile run. Whenever the car took off, the numbers are the same as what the 580 run was. I mean, really close. And I was thinking, holy shit, like we're hauling butt. We're I'm trying to look at cones, but I'm also trying not to drive up the side of the wall. We went anyway,
from 60-foot times to like 103 60-foot times. So that's a massive improvement.
Yeah.
It's that tramp clutch, baby. It's proven, man. You're not getting it back, Hall. Ever.
Oh, I'm getting it back.
Matter of fact, none of y'all are getting any parts back ever. I'm keeping them all.
All right, let's go back into qualifying. Let's see what do we got here.
Fuel pump, Michael.
That's it.
Then we got Pete Wittenberg, who qualified with an 81. His car normally, and that true testament of what was wrong, what was weird with the track is he normally gets right down first pair, or at least, all 3 laps. And he struggled, didn't get into the last session number 3, right? With that 81.
Yeah. He was on the outside looking in, and it wasn't looking good, especially with the weather. That car is super aggressive early, and it's, once again, you got to be really, really good with the tune-up for those conditions, or else it'll just blow the tires off before it even moves an inch.
Right.
So that car normally runs deep in the 370s to the 660 every run.
Wow. And then they last chance had to, I'm sure they backed it way down or took some weight off the clutch or whatever they had to do to just get it to go down the damn track. And then they run an 81 like, oh, no big deal, which is
right.
Still. And then next we got Adam Sorokin, which put down a bunch of good laps over the weekend. Clean, no smoke, no big fires. For me, I was looking at them as they got a really, really good shot at winning this race. From the outside looking in. And what did he end up going? We'll go into, I guess, eliminations. But yeah, he qualified with a 74, which was, I think, on the first session, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they knocked it right out of the park.
Which is
Clean too. Like that car
Yeah.
was just running, man. Like you could just hear it. You could hear the run down, and like that car makes like that. I don't know. You want to say like power band, but it has a different sound whenever it really gets up to RPM. And I was like, oh, that was a lap.
Yeah,
So,
you didn't see no piston smoke. It looked like a real clean run, and it looks like they're starting to get that car like a real good handle on that car, which is bad for all of us because of how he cuts those lights. And so we'll look for him later in the year to maybe start being in some finals or winning some races here pretty soon. And then next, Kaiser. I mean, first lap down the track in testing, I think he went 71 after not a long break. He buys the car from Dan Horan and then just comes out and just lays it down in testing and then just does it again. First round of qualifying with a 73 at 255. I mean, he's got that 2-speed 426 deal figured out, of course.
Oh,
yeah. And then, he's got his new paint job on there. It looks great. And it's good to see him have his own operation again. So that's pretty cool. Kind of bummed to see him go out. I think I thought for sure he was going to be in the finals. I thought it was going to be, Kaiser and maybe Adam they were looking like the best from the outside shot to win the race from my perspective. I don't know what you guys saw there, but Pete's got his stuff dialed in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a beautiful operation, too. That car's – I just told him today that's got to be one of the prettiest cars out there right now.
Yeah, between him and McGee,
Yep.
and their cars even kind of look alike a little bit. They're both red. Like, what is it with the red cars with that thing's all super clean and shiny?
Apparently, you ain't gonna see any red on the overtime special ever. I got that whole story. That ain't never gonna happen. So you'll know that there will definitely be one with no red on it.
We got some superstition. We'll have to ask Rick or Tyler when we get them in here what that's all about. And then we got Tyler Hilton. Doesn't do nothing. He smokes the tires, dropping valves, blowers banging out the thing. Far cry from last year, what they've been doing. And then, Jason Bunker shows up and they run a freaking 62 just out of nowhere, just bang. How crazy was that? I mean, last chance to not just even like back it down, just 62. Crazy. Congratulations to Bunker from that deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got it reeled in. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
And a really cool dude, man. Like
he is a cool dude.
we got to have some really good conversations with him out on the track, and then he came, down at the pits and stuff, man. Like he likes that drag racing. So yeah, man, it was cool to have him out there bullshitting with us.
He's one of those guys that just wants to see everyone do good. He's just a nice guy, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he came over and congratulated us on the car, running and blah blah. Yeah, so super cool, and got a really cool perspective on the PRO race from him. Being that he was there, it was really neat to hear the story behind that.
Right, because now he's tuning Cruz Pedregon's car, right? So he made the jump from Mark Metters, kind of working at Good Guys, tuning a Nostalgia Funny car, and like a Pro Mod car. I don't know exactly all of his history. Maybe we'll have him on the show one day, but I kind of known him. Our families are all Sacramento people. He's a little bit younger than me, so I kind of grew up a little bit ahead of him. But I talked to him a little bit when we did some Good Guys races, and he was working on Metter's funny car, and now he's like a big show tuner. It's crazy to think that like one of us, he's on the TV show, like turning all the big knobs, and.
It was a crazy story even about that. It was to hear like the phone calls that happened between that. But yeah, cool dude, man. Got a lot of insight, outside of our normal little old group. But yeah, that was it.
I don't know if you know his family, but his grandpa was a certified badass. Bob Bunker, the Folsom Flash, like him and my guy Dave Riolo down the street here were doing door slammers in the 80s when I was just a little guy. The first 200-mile-an-hour door slammer and the first 6-second door slammer at Sacramento under the lights in the 80s, like the best times. Man, if you could go back in time and just sit in the stands and there are people fighting, drunk, 4,000 people in the stands in Sacramento. It seems like a lot of people. I'm wearing the hat even, But yeah, as a grandpa certified badass. Let me see if we got any comments rolling. I'm sure there's a bunch. I haven't even clicked on it. Oh boy, I'm gonna put my glasses on for this, but you want to go into elimination rounds and talk about what that's all about? I need my damn glasses here. Hold on.
Well, We got about 30 minutes into this thing. We better pull them old boys on and talk to them before they got to go to bed. Hester he probably got to be farming in the damn morning.
Oh, they're still high on life.
I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
I don't think Tyler slept yet.
I got a few questions for him for sure. Let's see. Anything else? The Three Amigos from Vanessa. Oh God.
Oh my God.
I'm a little bit late on the comments, so that none of these are going to make any sense.
Yeah. Look at the recap.
Keith Bergen. Dude, my Rooman in the house. I like that. I still love my Rooman car, man. I wish he was still here. If I were going to have another car ability, it'd be either him or Brian Fox for sure in the dragster department. Badass.
Hey, talking about that, did any of y'all ever race with Lee Jennings?
We raced with. I didn't race in Nitro
or against
categories with his. I know Lee Jennings. I guess it's junior.
Yeah,
Code Red deal. I was around all that. I watched all that happen when they were running that funny car and stuff. Why you bring that up?
Oh, he was there. It was kind of crazy, you know. Yeah, he came into Pete's got Pitt, man, was talking about, you know, he used to drive the car or something like that. Well, I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, because he comes rolling in, like everybody's looking at him like, man, I know you, but I don't know you, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, I was like, you know, I mean, it's kind of cool to have some dudes, you know, that used to race, you know, 15 years ago, come over and hang out and still checking us out.
What's funny about that
hitters. I remember running with those guys at Indy. They would come out this way. That would be the only time I'd ever really see them.
Gotcha.
I heard that they would bring more beer than anybody could ever even imagine. They got Van Horn beat, I guess, by a lot. Those dudes sound like a lot of fun. I wish I was even old enough to drink back then and hang with those dudes. No. But it was a big rumor that Lee Jennings actually bought Murphy's car. I was doing a lot of research, and you know, we're all trying to figure out who bought Murphy's car because they're being all secretive about it. But
it's not.
At the time, it was kind of making sense. There's this Ray Zeller guy that, you know, had something to do with getting the chassis worked on at Parks or whatever. And I'm like, Zeller, Jennings, they're tight. Jennings just sold his, like, any one car that his kid drives. Dude, it's got to be him. So I messaged him. And I'm like, yeah, I know you bought it. And he was like, no, I didn't. I'm like, quit lying to me. And he finally just called me. He said, call me. So I called him, and he's like, dude, I'm not rich. I didn't buy that car. I wish.
That's cool. Hell yeah.
Let's see. Let's get back into some pictures here. How about let's just go ahead and play some video of our 2024 March Meet champions, and then we'll just bring them on. How about that?
Let's do it.
That sound good? All right, here we go.
Congratulations, Rick. Hey, congratulations.
Too cool.
There it is.
Well, I got mine on too.
Mine makes me look like a little kid, so I can't do it. Yeah, I'll put it on anyway. Screw it. So what do you guys think about that? Welcome to the show, Rick and Tyler. What's going on, you guys? How you feeling?
Still on cloud nine. Like Jimmy said, I haven't slept yet.
You got your beer league hat on. You got your March Meet trophy in the background.
Yeah.
I got some questions before I get to you, Tyler, for Rick.
Go ahead.
How long you been doing this? And how long has it been since you guys either won a March Meet or won your last race? I mean, you guys have been, you're right there so many times. How long has it actually been?
So we started running a fuel car, I believe it was 93 or 94. And then I started driving in the beginning of 98. We had crashed a car in 96. Daryl's brother crashed a car in Sears Point in 96. So we were going to be done drag racing. Couldn't afford to do anything, typical story. And we ended up building our own jig. And we bought all the pipe and everything from Robert Sterling back then. And we had a bunch of pictures of different cars, Sterling cars. And a buddy of mine out of LA, Bob Halleck, had his. So in the off season, we ran down south, picked his car up, brought it to our shop, and started building this car and just changing stuff that we didn't, we wanted something different than his. So we just changed some stuff. At the end of 97, we ended up getting it finished. Daryl's brother, David, ended up shaking the car down in Arizona. And then in 98, beginning in 98, before the March meets, I got licensed. So then I started driving in March of 1998.
And how old were you at that time?
Oh, 98. So
use your fingers and your toes.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now. So 98, was I 25?
You're like 25, 26 years old.
25? Yeah,
Right?
25.
I'm pretty sure you're 50 right now, right?
I was 24, gonna be 25.
There you go.
You just hopped in a nostalgia top fuel dragster just like that.
Yeah, so I had a little 56 Chevy that I drove around town, little hot rod, and I had taken it to the track a couple times. I built a motor for it when I was a junior in high school, and I thought, you know what, this would be cool. Everybody in the world runs a 12-second street car, right?
Right.
I did a lot of street racing and beat a lot of people. And I actually took it down there, and the last pass on the car, when I took it down, that ran at 1286 at 104. So I legitimately had a 12-second street car. Now it's gone bigger. It's got a blown small block in it. Now it's a whole different setup.
I've seen it. Yeah.
But anyway, so that was the only thing I ever messed around with. So during this, it's like, hey, we're talking, do you want to get licensed? I'm like, well, I'll try it. If I don't like it, what's the worst thing you're going to do? Not drive it.
Yeah, that always happens.
Right. The very first pass on it, they put me on a 5/10 tree.
Oh.
Well, I've been behind the car long enough to know, as soon as you see yellow, you're on the gas.
Right.
So they threw me a 5/10 tree. Boom, I hit the gas. I lifted, pulled the brake, got it stopped, backed up, and made him restart the clock. After that pass, I come back, and Papa Joe used to be the starter there. He goes, I have never seen anybody do that. I go, but it wasn't right.
It's like you're in your street car. Screw it. Back it up and do it again.
Back it up. Yeah, it's just a car. So we proceeded to run off and on with the good guys. And, back then they had A and B fields.
Yeah.
Before they went into the 16 car field.
Right.
And there was times that we didn't do very well. I remember a time in Vegas that we qualified number 9. First round eliminations, we went quicker and faster than any of the A cars. The Clinton thing comes up to me and goes, what are you, sandbagging? I'm like,
Definitely not.
But we've had some good times, and we ended up winning. I think it was 2006. We won the Hot Rod Reunion. I believe it was. As far as a big race, we won it again, and I think that was against Troy Green. We did it again in 2009, and Troy was driving the high-speed car. And then it was against Bellemere driving the high-speed car. So we won that one. We beat him. And then the last final, I believe it was 2018, that we ran our last final at the reunion, and it was against Mindy in the high-speed car. Yeah. So all 3 times it was in the high-speed that we ran against. And so we've won 2 of the 3. It was funny because we got to the big end, and they came down there, and Mindy had beat us. Of course, that car hauled them out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Bellemere's with them. And I looked at him. I go, it's pretty bad when it takes a girl to beat me. He was impressed.
You're,
But,
you're leaving out too that you cut like a 30 light on that on the final too.
yeah, I've had some decent lights to the past.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
like a
definitely
30,
not
I think.
Adam.
Yeah.
We've won a few little B field stuff and stuff like that. We've never really been, a consistent all the time winner, but we've always been one that you had to watch out for.
Yeah, and I said something about this the last show. Is I feel like you guys don't have like, I don't know what it is. It's like not like you guys don't get a lot of credit, but it just doesn't get brought up a whole lot. Like you guys are there. There's so many of you, and like you're always at Bakersfield. They're always running strong. You're always running hard. And I just feel like they'll pump Michael up and they'll pump me up, and I always feel like you guys are kind of like always under the radar, which is where I'd rather be sometimes. Because you'll sneak up and just kick everybody's ass without even expecting it. And I don't even know how that happens, but on my end, I'm always worried about you guys. So don't be worried that I'm not worried about you guys.
Well, goddamn! I mean, they go out to test it and lay down a 71.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Everybody's just sitting there like this. Oh, okay, here we go.
I said it at the last race we went to. I said, we're going to win the March meet with this thing. And then I said it again mid-race, and he's like, don't say that. I'm like, we're winning this race. I'm telling you right now. There's no option.
I called it at the last race. I said, not only is this car going to win a race, it's going to be soon this year. And just boom, made me look good. I couldn't call that I wasn't going to be there, but I'd rather have had better predictions than that. But
then a few years ago, we were struggling with blower stuff, and then I ended up calling Jimmy. I said, hey, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy stepped in and helped us and has been helping us for the last 3 years, I think, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Nitpicking on different things. I mean, we've creeped into this combination. It's taken 2 to 3 years. We just didn't start doing big openings and doing all this stuff and figuring it out. I mean, it was baby steps.
Yeah.
It's the best R&D for me ever invented in life. I'm going to tell you that right now. Ever.
And with an exception of Tom, I could be wrong, but nobody has really gotten the blower shop blower, the opening and all that shit that was on there originally. I don't know what Tom had modified his, and nobody really knew what he was doing at the time. But, we started modifying the bottom of this blower and, so that it wasn't picking on cylinders so bad. Because when I was helping Wittenberg originally, it would just mutilate the center cylinders out of the thing. No matter what you do, it would just fry them. And so it's just balanced out a lot more now that we've modified the inlet and the outlet of that blower. And, working with Glenn and everybody at the blower shop, I mean, you want something done, just send it to them. They'll do it immediately for you. And we get another change that we're going to be making here pretty soon to another case and, trying it on Michael's car.
That's a testament to those guys up there. Like they're into us, they're into what we do. We tell them this is what we want, and you send them the stuff, and they'll just straight do it without any questions. Like, I don't care why you want it that way. We'll do it however you want. And then, if you can give them some feedback, they might just make it that way from now on. Like they're real perceptive to, what we're doing. They're real helpful. They'll next air you stuff. They're at the track. I mean, Glenn was a fill-in clutch guy for my car at the last race. I mean, it's a great relationship with the Nostalgia Top Fuel in our group, and having those guys around, especially when we get to Boise and you want to, service your blowers, you just drive in on the way to the track and they're, red carpet service ready for you when you get there. So that's badass.
They got the best service out of anybody in the performance industry, in my opinion.
With a world that's going downhill, with companies kind of shitting the bed everywhere and corporate conglomerates taking over all this crap and quality control sucks. And when you can still call Glenn and you can still get, the main dudes on the phone over there, or they're standing at the machine to make stuff for you right there on the spot, or just actually driving down there and they'll make it for you. It's crazy. Rick's got one of those blowers on his car. I got one. Michael's got one. Good dudes to have in our corner for sure.
Oh, yeah. As long as race losing brands don't buy them out, we'll be good.
Yeah. I think Ron really strives on that, and I deal mainly with Ron. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I deal with Glenn too. He's a super guy, but I do deal with Ron a lot too on a personal level. And he wants to figure out something that he can basically send out to somebody that's ready to rock, that, we're all running. We don't have any one-off stuff.
Right. Ron's the kind of guy that doesn't like talking on the phone, doesn't like to be the sales guy. He's the guy in the computer modeling stuff.
Yes.
So if you have a relationship with him and someone like you that wants something a certain way, wants something modeled or made custom, he's your guy for sure. I talked to him a bunch at Boise last year, and it took him a little bit to open up. He's a little quiet, he's a little reserved, but then next thing you know, I'm starting talking about tune-up stuff and why this and why that, and then it was right there. He was like, boom, his eyes lit up, and that's the stuff he wants to talk about, which is cool that he even cares what we think. It is really cool to have those dudes around.
And remember who you are. Like you call and they know who they're talking to and who they're talking. That's what's not like, hey man, now who are you or what's going on? And it's like, man, yeah, we're the ones really revving up your shit out here. How about that? this ain't on a big block Chevrolet running down the highway. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
They do a lot of those too, those little peanut.
Yeah,
blowers.
they do.
Oh, man.
They're probably more happy with those guys than us, because we'll buy one blower every 10 years and those dudes buy them every 5 minutes, right?
Tried to run one on yours last year, Brian.
Yeah.
I said we tried to run one on yours last year at Boise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tried to get me to put your whole system on there, and I just wasn't having it.
So you want to recap the Tyler's road to the final here?
Yes.
Who is he? Who is it?
A nobody.
Just take him off the screen.
Hold on.
Talk about somebody that hasn't ever been in anything.
Let's talk about this guy.
Yeah.
You started driving
front and center.
a Top Fuel dragster only a couple years ago, and you already got spoiled and got a big trophy sitting behind you. What's going on? How do you feel?
I don't know yet. It hasn't sank in yet. I don't know how to feel. Happy, sad, or not sad, but just haven't accepted that it's real. Like somebody pinch me, just wake up.
Yeah, and you got the big trophy. You're a March Meet champion.
Yeah.
Amongst all the other names on the list, like Garlitz and Jim Murphy and all these people. Like, I can understand what you're saying. I'm gonna play a little video here of your final round run, I think is what this is. Was probably one of the baddest onboard videos I've seen in a long time, especially because it was just so clean. Let's play this real quick.
That's a thing of beauty there.
Dude,
Thing of beauty.
Does it get any better than that?
Not from where I'm sitting.
Header flames at night. March
and to
Meet
make
final.
it even better than that, we went back to the pit with the same oil, same spark plugs and everything, and fired it back up, and had Pop sitting in the seat just whacking the freaking throttle.
I might have a video of that too. Let's go ahead and play that.
Come around.
And to top it all off, we didn't have any more mixed fuel, so we were just pouring 100% in the tank. It was straight label.
Jimmy keeps saying it doesn't count unless you bring your car back and fire it up, and you guys proved that it could happen. So how badass?
We were getting ready to start the car up, and me and Jimmy were sitting on the back of the roll cage while Pop was in there, and he said, if it doesn't fire up, you have to give the trophy back. I said, the hell we're giving it back. That thing is ours.
All right, let's talk a little bit about who this guy is. Who is this guy right here?
That's the man that created this addiction. He fucked us all. Everybody asks, "Oh, this is so cool, but it's so expensive. It would be cheaper to be a heroin addict."
Yeah, 100%. Now, there's a lot of questions for me because you guys have such a big group. How are all you guys even related? I know you're Rick's nephew or
Holy
your
shit.
cousins.
Yeah.
And Pops is your
So-
grandpa. I don't even know what's going on here.
Okay, so Pop is let me think about this. So Pop has 2 daughters. One is Rick's wife, one is, or 3 daughters, but 2 that are involved in the racing. The other one is my mom. So Pop created the problem for Rick, right? And then Rick and Pop both created the problem for not only me, but Rick's son, my brother, all of our friends, all of Michael's friends, all of our cousins, all of our second cousins, third cousins, fourth cousins, their cousins. So that's why there's like 95 of us in the pit, because we just all enjoy this so much.
You got anything to add to that, Rick? What you talking about?
No, he's absolutely right. That's kind of where it all started. As being in, like I said, 93, I think, when we established the first car, I was 20 years old and I was partners in a Top Fuel car. That made absolutely no sense.
It was a great decision.
Oh, yeah. You know, like
I just
he
want to
said,
go
you
into
know,
how
margin
lucky it
cheaper.
is. How lucky are you to find a girl that's dad is like so down with all this, you know, like it's like a 1 in a million shot, right? And then it just sucked the whole family in.
Yeah. So in '89, me and TJ are kind of hanging out, blah, blah. And Pop's like, hey, why don't you guys come down here? We're getting ready to run this. It's with fuels and injected small block deal. Come down to Formosa, check it out. So, you know, we hadn't been together very long, me and Jen right at that time. So it's cool. Yeah, we'll take over there. We go over there, we pull up, we see this dragster. I mean, the front end's way up there, and bam, it hits down. It's like, oh shit, I wonder who that was. So we pull around, I mean, and that's who it was. It bent chassis. He's like, hey, boys, you want to help us load this thing inside the trailer? Because, you know, the dragster's sitting like this. So that was our first experience on, you know, going to a drag strip to go, hey, we're going racing. So that's kind of where it started.
And it was a phenomenal deal to watch Pops, you know, his emotion towards that win and what went on, you know, being down there on the start line, being, you know, in the pits where we were at, I mean, we're pitted right next to each other. So, you know, we're back and forth in each other's trailer pretty heavy, but to watch Pops and, you know, his grandkids and, you know, and everybody that was involved. I think he was going to get like back surgery. They're picking him up off the ground. He didn't give a damn. I mean, he was, if he was hurt, you know, it was a joke to me, because I seen him jump right up in that car like he was 25 and laid it down. Did a real good little interview with him before he got in the car, and he got pretty emotional about everything. You know, everybody was there, so it was a great moment. It was a great moment in drag racing. It was a great moment in the March meet. It's a great moment for their family. You know, there's winning things, and then there's having great moments, and that was a phenomenal moment for that whole group.
So we got Brian Sumter. He's the only one not related.
And that's almost bullshit, because
He said
Brian's
blood related.
Before I was even born.
Brian is I always say he's the newest of the crew members. That's the original crew members. He's our guy that's been with us the longest. He's been with us, I think, 26 years or something.
Oh my God. It's crazy, man.
You guys have been doing this a long time. It's crazy.
But we don't ever get pissed off either. Nobody ever is chewing someone's ass. No one's ever mad. Like, we win as a team and we lose as a team, and that is it. So I think that's, you know, it's always been the motto that at least me and my generation have been taught. So that helps us keep crew members and everybody's happy all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't do anybody any good.
We don't qualify. That's just the way it is, you know?
Yeah, you got to be good winners. You got to be good losers, or else you're going to surround yourself with people who are just going to exit stage left, you know, and that you can't be. That's just not a fun way to do it. You know, this is all about, you know, helping each other out, and we all want to kick each other's asses. And Jimmy's helping you guys, and you know, I talk to Jimmy on a regular basis. He's been helping Michael. I'm going to maybe try his fuel system, and you know, that's kind of what it's all about, is, you know, helping each other out. And matter of fact, even before when I was just a fuel altered wannabe guy, Rick helped me. You know, he's the first guy in Top Fuel that ever really even talked to me, just to have some, you know, I'm just a blown alcohol dork out in the dirt, you know, and I buy a block from you guys that one of the old Donovan cast blocks that was in one of your dragsters at one time. And I actually got a hold of Brian Sumter on some internet site, and I'll be at Bakersfield. I'm like, oh, perfect. And I walk over. I'm like, holy shit, you guys have like a top fuel car. Like, and I felt like kind of weird, and you guys helped me load it up. And then kind of me and Rick just sort of hit it off, like, hey, what are you doing with that thing? And, he helped me along, and, along with a bunch of other people that were cool. But, for me, that's what this is kind of all about is, it's not so often that you get to do what you love with a bunch of dudes that are cool, that love it just like you do and spend all their time and resources to do it. It's kind of crazy.
There's a lot.
And it would be real easy for somebody to get into this deal and, get very frustrated quickly and then get out of it. And that's not what we're, I don't think that's what this group is about. This group is about advancing people to be able to continue on in racing, because nobody wants to race themselves in the end, right? Like,
Right.
As much stuff as I've tore up, it could be very easily done. Like, I'm done with this crap, let's go race my alcohol car. And like you said, man, hell, you tear something up or you mess something up, and Rick's over there, I got this or I got that, or, or vice versa. I mean, hell, he shipped me a camshaft one time, just to get us to the next race. So, that's absolutely what this is all about. And I'll tell you another funny story. This March Meet winner driver guy right here, this is how crazy it gets. They show up to the pit and the generator runs out of gas. And who's over there asking me for gas? The guy that just won the race, and he's putting the gas in the generator to get it started up so we can fire the damn car up. So, yeah, that's how it rolls in our deal. There ain't no $1 million shit going on around here. It's like, you got 5 gallons of gas? Because we run out. We're done.
What do you got to say about all that, Jimmy?
There's a lot to being said to be being a good winner and a good loser, and it takes a lot to be able to win with some dignity and lose with dignity as well. And these guys definitely have it both, and that's the reason I enjoy helping them so much, because they have fun no matter what the situation is, and it's just a group effort. It's like, I'm definitely not calling the shots on that thing by any means. We all just spitball the ideas, and the car actually surprised us, because we tested, everything went perfect. Then we went out, and I think it broke a fuel line, didn't it, Rick? Or then the fitting broke in Q1. It broke a fitting, and it burned some pistons, no doubt about it. And then we fixed that in Q2. The fuel shut off. Then we made it in it. What did it run? An 87, but the fuel shut off went off. Correct me if I'm wrong on the time.
Yeah, I believe so.
So we were.
Q2. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we were struggling a little bit with just odds and ends grumblings. And then when we finally got a clean run out of the thing, we had some things mixed up. And then when we ran Pete, I honestly didn't expect the car to run as quick and as fast as it did, because it was burning shit up early, and it just kept on clipping off the throttle arm, and that's just what it was. But the car went, what did it go, 261 on that run?
Against Pete, 261.
Yeah, it went 261 and drove away from Pete. And I think everybody was surprised in that. It just made a clean run, and we knew we had it at that point.
For example, Wittenberg had McGee's pump on the car when we raced him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Michael had my pump on his car.
I had 2 brand new pumps in the trailer. I'm like, we ain't changing.
22 gallons. That's why you want that on there.
I'll tell you another funny thing too, Brian. We were sitting there and amongst all the racing that's going on, right? Like, whenever you're, and y'all know that's what's cool about having everybody on there. Like whenever it comes to eliminations, there ain't no lifting, right? Like it's going to go till we go and go, and until it comes out of the frame rails, and they put that. I don't want to say their last motor, but possibly the last motor they had there at the race in the car in E2. And I told my guys, I said, go pull that motor out of that trailer and put it in the corner. Because if this one goes to shit, we're going to put that one in this car, because we're going to the finals. And they were like, really? I was like, you damn right. This shit is happening. They got enough people. All they need is the block. They can make everything else work.
Well, they built a motor. We fried a piston, spun the rear main. Then the fuel shut off, fried another piston. It kind of, got after a rod bearing a little bit. So as that's going on, they already had another motor assembled with a brand new crank that they brought from the house. I mean, there was a lot of drama that led to this. And then between the semifinal and the final, I believe we didn't get any computer data at all in the semifinal. So we're just sitting here going, all right, well, let's try this and this. And it absolutely fixed the problem. It fixed everything, you know. It just shows you got to read the parts and not really look at that computer, especially on the run. But, you know, when you're frying stuff and you don't even know if the fuel shutoff was on because you have no fuel pressure even, it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on.
Right. I'm a firm believer that the computer's lying to me at all times anyway. I look at that thing in the EGTs and I'm like, just turn that damn thing off. I'll just go back to what I used to do in this car back here. You just read the plugs. It worked better for me back then. I had a little bit of string of bad luck, and I think it's all due to that damn computer. I think that thing sucks. I'll just look at Kurt's GoPros and the spark plugs, and we'll go from there. You used
Too much info is not good either.
You used to tune without a computer, didn't you, Rick?
Oh, a long time. Iron heads with a regular 7.5 amp mag. One time I had 3 high speeds on it because it just put your nose on the dash of the car. You get to the top end. No, you're like, what the hell? Back then, no computer, iron heads. We ran 580s back then like that.
Let's picture you guys right here. Look at that. Hey. Boom. Now, do you even know all these people's names? Who are all these? How much beer do you guys bring in a weekend anyway?
Typically is about 836 packs.
Tyler?
And I brought 2 this weekend, and Sunday night we finished all the Michelob on top of that.
No, that's just for the race trailer. That's not where we're parked over on the other side. There's usually about another 4 or 5 over there.
Yeah. So who knows? I can tell you that the only reason we went to bed Sunday night was it was me and TJ and Josh left out there. And TJ walked in the trailer and said, "That's it, boys. We're out of beer." We're like, "Well, shit. We might as well go to bed then because there's nothing else to do."
I got a word question for you. How much water does one of those Fusion trailers actually hold?
Gosh damn, not enough. Not enough. Not enough.
Oh, that's an inside joke.
Yeah.
Not everybody in this picture was showered, is what you're saying.
No, that's not that.
No, we got more water, but the black tank only holds so much.
Oh, I get where you're going with that.
Dude, it's never ending. It's never ending, man.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations again. It's a badass race. I'm super happy for you guys. Couldn't have gone to a better crew, better team, good friends. Yeah, just super excited for you guys. You guys have anything else you want to say before I kick you out of here and talk some more shit?
No, we appreciate, everybody that, happy and has congratulated us. And we've heard from a lot of people, I know I've heard from a lot of people every day.
I can't believe you texted me back 5 minutes after the run. I'm like, he's still at the top end. He texted me back, thanks already. I'm like, dude, I was just hoping you caught that by midnight,
I think it was right in the back of the truck.
Well, Tyler, I'm jealous, man. I want that March meet win bad. And, we started driving at the same time in Top Fuel, and you beat me to it. And congratulations to you, man. That was badass.
Thank you very much.
I think I saw some really good reaction times. I'm pretty sure. Let's talk about that. I think, I got some round by round photos here. Is this 81 light? Hilton goes 35 against you and smokes the tires.
So those reaction times are backwards.
Those are backwards. Yeah, I went 35. He went 81.
Well, in that case, I think I'll go ahead and, this was going to go to, Bowen, because that was a pretty big hole shot, but I'll go ahead and give you the Adam Sorokin hole shot.
That's good.
I won't leave that up on the screen for too long. It's pretty terrible.
That's freaking hilarious.
Oh my God, man.
35 light in the first round, you get the win. You go out to win the whole damn race. How badass. Congratulations again.
Dream come true.
Cool, man. Well,
Yeah,
I'll
Adam
kick
and
you guys
myself
out of here,
were
and then you
talking
get probably ready for
yesterday
bed.
about that.
What was
Adam
that?
and myself were talking yesterday, and we're just really impressed with your driving and your composure in that car. And he was blown away as well. You're going to definitely be a hitter from here on out. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's a major problem for the rest of us, right? We
yeah.
were hoping you'd be, you've never driven anything before down the drag strip ever, except for a Top Fuel dragster, which is crazy. We're thinking,
That's
all right,
Rick, that's Rick's fault too. He said
We're
you're
gonna
just gonna make bad habits and other shit. Just go straight to a fuel car. Okay.
well, apparently he was right, because we're thinking, all right, we got this new kid in here. I mean, never driven anything. Hopefully he's going to be a duck. And then nope. No.
His wings are good.
Well, you got the DNA for it, right?
So I'm going to ask this question because it's out there in the deal. How's the Bowling Green trip panning out? What do we got? I mean, we're later in the deal, man, ready to rock and roll. I mean, everybody over there is going to want to see you. What's shaking here?
Don't go there, Rick. Don't go there.
You going to chase points or what?
I just thought me and Jimmy were talking earlier today. I figured
You already know where this is going.
If Tyler leases Jimmy's car, they're pretty close to the same size. We don't have to tow all the way back.
I like that idea.
Hey, and our GoFundMe's really looking good these days. So
It really is.
I don't know if I have that on here or not. I was going to
Because
put it on.
the points follow the driver.
that's it.
That's right.
That's it.
That's a fantastic
hey,
idea.
cars don't matter. All you got to do is show up, right?
Right?
That's been a proven deal already. So I say yes. I vote yes. Anybody else vote yes? How about all the viewers? Let's go ahead and see how many yeses are out there. And I guarantee you there's way more yeses than no's.
I might be able to do a poll on here. Let me see. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, new button, poll.
I'll learn some new stuff here. Yeah.
So the only reason I would want to go there is because a different driver, a different car has taken out the number one car at the last 3 races. So it would be another different car and another different driver at the 4th race. But, spite is not worth really going to Bowling Green for me, honestly. Helping those guys out, that may be, but not spite.
Yeah.
No, it's called drag racing. Plus, I like Tyler. Rick's okay, but I like Tyler.
That's right.
Rick brings the beer. That's what. Oh, no, man. It'd be cool. Whichever way. It's fun to talk about. That's what we do. We talk about shit, dude. We just laugh and talk. Mainly we talk. We really don't ever do anything. We just do a lot of talking. So whatever. It'd be cool.
I should have been mowing my damn lawn today, but Michael reminded me there was a show to do. I'm like, oh, shit. Kelly went and got 10 gallons of gas in my 4 foot tall of grass in my backyard. Finally got off this work shift and I'm trying to mow, and now I got to do this goddamn show.
Well, all in all, guys, man, really appreciate y'all coming on, and it was super killer being parked next to you. Thanks for all the help on my stuff too. I can't thank y'all enough, and I'm sure we'll see you before too damn long. I guarantee you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, I'm gonna kick you out of here. We're gonna talk a little bit more shit, then we're gonna turn this thing off. How about that?
I'll call you tomorrow morning.
Good night. All right, that's that.
Oh, you kicked Jimmy out.
Oh, Jimmy's back yet. We're still new.
Still working through it.
There we go. You guys are in the wrong order. All right, so let's go back into some round by round stuff. I got a little bit of stuff to talk about. Where this is going to be a weekly or bi-weekly thing where I find something weird on the internet that we're going to just post a picture of. So this was a weird one that I saw. This kind of reminded me of Michael's problem I heard about this weekend where he had a check ball stuck under the nozzle.
Oh my God. I forgot all about that.
Can you imagine this right here with somebody sprays some brake clean down the thing, and we're just going to go ahead and call this the Greg Means Award. I did that. There he is. Greg Means did that too. That's a big hose.
So we burnt a piston up. Take the jet out, look through it. First thing you do, check everything. And I'm looking in the nozzle body. It's not supposed to have a ball check in it at all. It's just it's an open nozzle body. And I thought I saw a liquid in there. And I started looking. No, it's a check ball stuck all the way in the nozzle body down by the deflector tip right at the end. Plugging it off solid. I'm like, all right, well, that's definitely going to cause something to go.
But that really wasn't either. I'm not claiming that, or he ain't claiming that. Well, what that was left over from some Chevrolet stuff from a long time ago. It just happened to have the right nozzle number on there. We just grabbed it and, and stuck it in there, not thinking that there was I don't even remember having ball checks in any of that. I think that was like original, like St. Louis original kind of stuff.
That would explain some issues you've had with your car. If the ball check's on the bottom side of the spring, plugging the hole off, it's definitely not jet anymore, right?
But there is everything. You are looking at the biggest problem with my car right here. In this area is the biggest problem.
This actually matters, and I don't think you believe me. And Jimmy's finally beat it into your head that the stuff matters.
Nothing is good enough. Nothing.
No, it's crazy, man. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But yeah, it was great. But I think the best one was the cricket, Murphy's cricket.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't he? What was it? It was in the.
He was wondering
where you put the alcohol hose.
The idle bleed sucked the cricket.
Oh, that's right.
Why the idle went down. There was a cricket stuck in there.
That's right. I did hear
that.
Grasshopper, cricket, whatever. That was like, what the hell's the chances of that getting sucked up in that damn thing? But anyways, hey, I do got to say something too before I know you're looking at stuff. Want to give a big shout out to Blaine O'Neill for getting his car out there to the March meet. Looks like he's beaten cancer, in itself. He's doing really good. He was out there kicking ass. Me and Bowen went out there and helped him work on his car a little bit. And man, it was really cool to see that dude out there grassroots racing, man, in his 8cc class for the first time. So I'm happy he's doing good. He brought us some whiskey and everything. So badass, Plano.
Great dude. He started that bump spot thing a couple of years ago. We didn't know him from anybody. He's just like, hey, I want to do this thing, and turned out to be a pretty good friend, like shows up way into it, and then he gets kind of sick and has some health problems. And he's like, screw it. I'm buying a dragster. I'm doing this. Like, how cool, just screw it. I got some of his dad's old gear. He gave me some old, fire mask and helmet and fire suit. I got displayed in my shop, which is pretty cool. Yeah, good dude. Glad to see him out there racing. I wish I could have been there. See that too. Like it seemed like I missed a lot this last weekend. But
there was a bunch of good dudes out there, man, just hanging out. Great fans too, man. The fans were kicking ass, coming by, hanging out, getting all up in the pits, talking, Can't thank them enough. I mean, it was kind of crazy. Me and Jimmy, I think we're sitting in the back of the trailer just kind of watching. It's like pouring down ass rain, and people are still walking in. Like you're just like, right. You're like, wow, man, like that's hardcore. If it's rain, I mean, like raining, and you're still coming in. So can't thank them enough on doing what's and really too. Out there at the track for the Formoso crew and everything that hanging in there to get all that done. I mean, that for us, we still got to make our runs, man. Like. Right. In whichever direction that it was, our Q3 wasn't at 11:30, but I mean, we still got to do it at the prime time on that Saturday. Like it couldn't have been any better of a deal on that too.
Absolutely.
They do treat the fuel cars quite a bit different. I'm sure some of the sportsman people weren't happy. I'm sure they raced on Monday. I didn't really watch the rest of it because there was no actual live feed of the deal, but it's good that they're trying to get our races off and happening and all that. I feel bad for the sportsman guys, the any 1, 2, 3 guys that are trying to go out there and race, and they might have got it off. I don't really know, but crazy that they all made that all happen. I do want to ask a little bit about this this deal right here. That's Van Horn won some money for worst qualifying average. The car looks good right there. Front wheels in the air. Doesn't look like it's getting ready to shake. I guess I downloaded the wrong picture, but this dude couldn't. I mean, he's having all kinds of problems shaking, kind of like what I did last year. But that's his award for being the worst of the weekend. Him and Blake having a good time laughing about it. I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he came up to me with that money. He goes, look at this. I was like, where'd you get that for? And he told me, I go, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I'm over there like, how come I didn't get it done last time? Like, what the hell?
That was something I forgot to ask Rick about. I was getting ready to ask him, and I know he's still in the green room. I can see him down there. Maybe I can pull him back in and ask him. But what exactly does it pay to win the March meet? Like, we haven't been told this. And it's kind of like it's
nobody
like
asked one time, like
So
at
how
all.
dumb-
There was not even a question.
How dumb are we? We're just willing to tow down there. We don't even know. It could pay $1. We have no idea. But it means that much to all of us that we're just going to, everybody's just going to pack all their shit up and go down there. All right, let's pull Rick in. Let's see. Hey, Rick, you there?
So,
Hey, what does it pay to win the March meet? Did you guys get a check?
I have no idea. I'm thinking Blake's usually better than the reunion, so I'm sure we'll probably get one in a reasonable amount of time versus the reunion.
yeah.
It's about
4
months.
You'll get it next week, probably, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to put that on the next week's
The
show.
winner doesn't even know. The fucking winner. Like, that's how much nobody even brought it up. Like, we're just here, dude. Like, we're just hoping to run. Like, give me the trophy. That's a $100,000 trophy right there.
I haven't heard it was rumored to maybe be $7,500 to $10,000. I don't really know. Don't quote me on that, but it'd be cool if you get a check for $10,000 in the mail next week. I'm sure you can find a spot to spend that.
It seems like in the past I've heard it's like 10.
Yeah,
right. I'm not 100% on that.
It only costs you 15 to do it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Or 20.
Yeah.
They spent 15 on beer.
But it's good.
All right, well, call us and confirm. When you get that check, call us each and let us know how much it is so we know what to expect next year.
Absolutely.
All right, Rick.
See you, buddy.
Have a good day, man.
Uh-huh.
Whoa, I can edit your display name. Wow, that's weird. I could have just totally called you something different. All right, later. All right. So, what else we got? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Cliff and Russ, what's up, boys? They went out there and did their job. They worked their butts off. Got to give them a shout out there. I see them almost every run.
Did everybody get their fuel pumps checked and all that? They checked all that.
They took Rick's pump right
They
after
did?
the first one there. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So things are looking up. Stuff's changing. All right.
Yep.
That's something to look out for. Here we got some round by round stuff. Bowen, dude, first round over Kaiser. Crazy. 047 to a 115 light. 80 beats a 77. Gnarly. Obviously, we know Hester's were backwards. He had a 035 light with a 90 for the win. Wittenberg over Anderson, 72. Michael, you had some engine problems. You got a little bit of oil on you. And then
A little bit of oil, a little bit of fire.
the other upset was Sorokin smoking the tires instantly. Like crazy. The car goes down and goes down and goes down, and then it just doesn't, at the worst time possible first round. That sucks.
Look at Williamson's run right there. I mean, to go, from what they ended with to this first race and where they were at, man, that was a solid weekend for them dudes right there.
Yeah, and they're always right there. They're the next one. That's been right there so many times. Did they win at Boise? I think last year. Was that them that won last year?
Yeah, because they were chasing that points pretty hard at the deal.
They were jamming for a while there, and then to come out here after not qualifying last year and having all kinds of weird problems, just go out there and be right back on track. That's cool.
Yeah, and then talking with McLennan, about what happened with their car, he was saying that they were having fuel puddling up. It could possibly be the deal, but having fuel puddling up in front of the tire. Guy had a video and he basically because that's when he hit the throttle, boom, 10,000, man, like right then. Yeah. So that was that car was running stout too. So that I'm sure that there's a lot more racing left. It ain't the end of seeing that one run down the track.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be in Bowling Green, trying to redeem themselves from that deal. And sounds like we got Redding. I don't think they ever actually officially posted it. Mike Rice was supposed to put it on the website. I don't know if that actually ever happened, but we got Redding. It sounds like we might get a throwout race. Tulsa is still kind of up in the air. McLennan, I don't really know what he's doing with that. But let's go back into some next rounds. So we got, dual 572s. So exciting when you were filming that live in my truck, like 572 to 572 Wittenberg and Hester, like gnarly. That's so crazy to see those numbers come up on the board. And then at 261 miles an hour too, for Hester, like badass.
Yeah, what hat? He gets a hat.
Oh, I guess we got to do that, huh?
Yeah. Tyler gets his 260 hat, man. I know he wanted one, so yeah, those are good. Jordan's doing the design, so that stuff's coming out soon.
Okay, hell yeah. Too bad I wasn't there to try to get me a hat. I'm gonna be getting one, and I ain't going to Bowling Green. I'll tell you that right now. But come Boise time, I'll be trying to get me one of those. Be hard to do up on that hill, but then Bowen 597. Kind of, I think he had to do some pedaling, and then Brett, that's actually kind of a close race. It's closer than it looks on paper. 597 to a 607. What's that, a 10th?
Yeah, they were both pedaling it pretty good.
Yeah, right. And they're both driving it through the lights, 249 and 245 on those runs. And then final round with actual, reaction times and everything. Hester gets the win. Badass. I just figured I'd show that on screen. This is something that we brought up the last show. I didn't have a actual screen grab of it, but this was the Top Fuel bingo card for the weekend. I have to put my glasses on to read it, but we were planning on handing these out. I don't know if it actually happened or not, but if you hear or see any of these things, you get to put your bingo dauber on there. Zingos. Someone gives expert advice that it's never driven or tuned before. The witch doctor. The boys from wherever, that's a Mike English thing, hitting an orange pumpkin. If they call it a pumpkin, you get to mark that one off. Someone says March meats, which I think McGee actually said earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's meats, MEATS. The legendary pure hell. Someone trips over your toast wrap. The Twilight Zone. I hate this one when somebody calls their engine a new bullet. Oil down. Piston gods. Actually getting a root beer float, so to get that one, you had to go over to Van Horn's pit. Overzealous fan. Anybody calling it Formosa or Famosa with an A on the end, because that's weird. Any shirtless guy, which Michael posted pictures of. I could have won the bingo card from home just on the internet. Michael Anderson's first 5 was on there. Anybody who says A to B, that was one. Timing system malfunction, not this year, I don't think.
No.
Anytime somebody says Pam Conrad owes Joel Grusin $20, if you saw Joe Walla, you could mark that one right down Broadway. They mentioned.
I literally yelled at him coming back from the 590 path. What's up, Joe Walla?
Oh, you got a 2-for-1 right there. James and Eileen Day, and they're prepping the track right now. Should only be any minute.
that was 100 times, dude. I'm telling you right now. Like Jimmy was calling it. He was like, here we go. Mike English is going to be on there saying that we're ready to go. And then freaking rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got to talk about here? I got pretty much all our bases covered. I thought this was kind of funny.
I have no idea where that came from.
The 1963 edition of Hot Rod Magazine. Let me put my glasses on and read that a little closer. I think that's a 57, maybe 67. I don't know. Hawkins sent that to me. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I think somebody sent that to Fox, and then he sent it to me, and I was like, where the hell did that come from? So anyways, had to use it. Thought it was cool.
All right, well, we've been on an hour and 19 minutes. You guys want to call this a day? You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, man, just,
we got to figure out what's going on with all these MGP connecting rods. I've had problems. The Regatta's had problems. Anderson's having problems. It's just a weird situation where the pins are coming out and rubbing on the crank, and I don't really get it. I just sent 50 of them back to MGP yesterday, and the first thing the guy asked me was, hey, did you untorque them the second you got them home? I mean, the second you get them out of the box, did you untorque them? And I said, yeah. And then I asked them, well, if you don't want the rods torqued, why do you send them to me torqued?
Right.
And they didn't have an answer to that. And then I asked them, what do you do if it's a bracket motor or a boat or something? You're not going to untorque them after a pass. What do you do about it? So I don't know. I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. But ever since Race Winning Brands took them over, even the machining on them was absolute crap. You can see the tool marks, like they drew a tool bit across every single rod, And we put them in our car, made one pass, brand new crankshaft, and it smeared brass all over the crank on the first pass. Took them out, sanded the crank, put the old rack back in it, and I ran the rest of the season on my old rods. But, we got to figure out something, because that's the same thing that bit Michael's car all weekend.
Right.
Pins coming out, rubbing the crank, and it ended up spitting a rod out of it. We were down to our last, batch of rods, and we got a milk crate full of them with all the paint over and hanging out of the bearing. So
yeah, we had that problem with GRP a couple of years ago too. I would have, trusted my life with a GRP rod up until it just randomly broke in half in two different cars not even a combo change, just we're cycling out rods and it just broke in half at half track off the gas. Didn't even know it broke. And then we fixed that one. And then our Fiat, it did the same thing. So it's this weird. MGP rods used to be like the prettiest things you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And, I switched to Bill Miller's last year. I've been really happy with them. Bill's I hear he's a little difficult to deal with, but he's made my stuff, and he actually came in and we had a little bit of an issue with something. He fixed it right away. I'm kind of interested in the CP Carrillo rods. We've been dealing with Aris and CP on some pistons, and Murphy ran their rods for a couple of years and never had a failure. Kind of seems like, maybe we could, they're also at the track, they're like the blower shop. They're hanging out. They're there. They're interested in us. Maybe it might be time for a brand change in the rod department too. Maybe just go with them all together.
They're pretty proud of their prices, I'll tell you what, but I guess if they don't fail, is it really that much more expensive?
Yeah, I'll pay $400 a rod if it never breaks. It doesn't matter.
You guarantee me 100 runs out of a rod, no problem.
Y'all ain't got shit, dude. I got some pink rods in the oven right now warming up. That's what's going back in mine, baby. Y'all get ready. We're tempering them right now.
Brian, you probably don't even know this. We shook the tires on one of the runs. I think it was the 83, just drove through it. And then from there on out, we didn't even have a computer on the car. We made at least 2 passes without the computer. So I don't have, we got no data for any of the 83 run. We got nothing. I don't even think we got, I think it was that nighttime run where it shook off.
Yeah.
So we didn't even get the 83 run on anything.
Yeah. Whatever. It ran. It was badass. It was killer.
Let me get into the comment section, see if anybody's got anything to say. Oh, I think Van Horn might have something to say. Sean, where'd he go? This is something. Race-owned products website coming. Racer-owned products. Jean brought this up recently to me, and I thought it was a pretty good idea. People who own companies like Titan, who actually race their products, and come out and race with us, whether it's with us directly or at least drag racing or tractor pulls or something. Like, these dudes aren't just a corporate conglomerate of Chinese products and overseas weirdness. Joey Gross is making rods too.
Yep.
I think probably, I would imagine, he's good buddies with the McGee crew, and
yep.
I imagine they'll probably give those a try. He's actually got my crankshafts balancing them right now. I never did go pick them up, so that'll be.
They look nice.
Yeah, we saw a sample of the rods too. Rick had a sample of a rod. It looked really good. Like it looked like a stout ass rod. So definitely something to look into. That having options out there.
Yeah. So Greg Means had a GRP problem too. I don't know what he quite did, but
yeah. Well, I did that.
Yeah, should we go back to that?
We probably need to talk about
the side rail.
Oh, do you?
I want the side rail off the block. I'm going to sign it and I'm going to hang it on my wall. All right.
Speaking of side rails, I got those. Got to put in order for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to need those soon. I'm racing in 3 weeks.
Oh God.
Yeah. So either that, or we're gonna make it. Somebody's gonna be sending me some, and then we'll just send them some new ones.
Just put a decal over the holes.
That's it. I'll put some duct tape on there. It'll be all right.
You can do what I did. Is I actually drilled a hole in my last block because we don't have side rails like you do, and I put a 1-inch pipe plug, aluminum pipe plug in the side of it because I didn't want to weld on the block. Now it's just a sight glass. If I want to look in the motor from the side, check the oil level. It's got a
we do need to talk about Peter Cottrell and his video that's going to be coming out for our group. It's going to be AAFD the movie episode 1. It's going to be you're going to see a bunch of trailers. Get on there, like, share, subscribe, do all that social media stuff on both the YouTube deals, on AFD, Extreme, Peter's deal, Kings of the Sport, all of us, get on there because there's going to be a lot of information coming out. I hate to plug all that stuff, but I think this boy is going to put a lot of effort into this video. And I think he said he had like 200 hours of video on his thing. It's some ungodly amount. So there'll be weekly little trailers coming out until the big movie comes out. And he's thinking, 2, 3, 4 weeks, somewhere right around there, but it should be pretty quick.
I got another picture to show that I had in here. We got to thank Dusty always for bringing out the girls. That's pretty cool. It looks like Dusty had maybe starting to make moves in the right direction. As far as the numbers, it didn't just instantly smoke the tires, so that's pretty good. I know he's probably tired of spending all the money and doing all this stuff. Jimmy, you got anything to say about that?
Yeah, he put the Hoosiers on there, and he ended up spinning a bearing, raw main bearing on it. But he also was having rod problems as well, the same situation. And it's just, they're all the same batch from that same era of rod that we all got.
Right.
And, I don't know. Rod companies go through cycles like that where they just try a different product, a different type of material, and either the pins are soft or the hole's reamed wrong or whatever it is. But hopefully they get them and actually look at them close enough to know that there's a problem with them.
Yeah, hopefully you guys don't get screwed out of 50 rods a piece. And
be
like,
they're not going back in.
Yeah, and I know that Carrillo or CP Carrillo had that problem a couple of years ago with some rods. I don't think any of us were affected by it, but I know they took back some rods and then made it right with the guys, from what I understand, which is pretty stand up of those dudes. And as far as I know, they're not owned by any sort of conglomerate. I know that they themselves are probably like a little bit of a conglomerate when they bought Arius and CP, and then I think was there Ross or something, or
Ross
somebody
is
else
owned by Race Winning Brands, I believe now.
Oh, okay, so they're out. But yeah. Anyway, a good company. It's cool to see them around at the track and supporting us. And Brian.
Yeah, Brian Moreland was out there. He was out there with the CP group, man. Like they had to leave. They had like a little emergency deal to handle up. But yeah, they were out there hanging out and checking it all out. Normally he's up there on the start line right in the middle. I think Justin Arias was there too, if I remember right.
I just talked to him the other day. I just ordered 60 pistons from him as soon as I got back. So he's a nice guy and he wants to help out as well. So
good.
And Sanders was out there.
Wow, that's crazy. I heard they sold to some sprint car guys. And Glenn Sander was the original guy, and some company bought him out. And it was kind of nervous when that happened because Glenn was pretty cool about, with that whole 15-3 debacle that happened, and making sure we got centers and making sure we're all taken care of. But Kelly just walked in here. Anyway, yeah, that's crazy. They were out there. I saw some pictures. It looked like maybe they got some new stuff coming out, or at least they're interested in us. Maybe we bought enough wheels to get their attention.
The guy was really cool. He was really cool, man. Like, he was badass. He hey, thanks for buying, our products, and blah blah blah. I mean, like, just a good dude. And I think so. He was riding around with Dar. I think they had done a little bit of sponsorship stuff on that, Real Kings of the Sport deal and all that stuff. But it was cool that he was out there and able to, see whose cars his stuff was on, which is a lot in our group.
I don't think we had a choice. I think that's the only choice.
Yeah.
We were pretty much forced to buy all new wheels.
I think there's one other company that makes a wheel, but isn't it it was like $4,000 a wheel, or I don't know, some kind of crazy shit. I don't know. It was unreal.
Oh, I saw something on Tyler's cars, those one-piece weld forged wheels, which I didn't think they made a 12-inch wide wheel in that kind of a wheel. So I don't know what that was all about. It must have been custom made or something. But
yeah,
as far as I know,
he did have some different looking wheels on there for sure.
Yeah, those are it's a one-piece forged. It almost looks like a billet wheel that the Big Show cars have been running. And heard some mixed reviews from some of the Big Show guys that actually changes how the car reacts and how you got to tune it, which is kind of weird. I didn't know I didn't know Weld made anything 12 by 16 or 11 or 12, either one. So that was kind of interesting to see that. I don't know where those came from, but maybe something to look out for in the future. I think they're big bucks, from what I remember. At least the Big Show wheels are.
I think I'll just stick with the old Sanders. We'll just roll with that.
Not that I have to buy them. John and Roxy got to buy my wheels, but they've already done that for me, and we're good to go. I got the sticker, and I'm all good.
All right. Well,
so
the time.
That it? We're gonna. I'll put on some background picture. I'll play a couple videos on the way out. I'll put the Hester McGee Tedford crew stuff on here because it was so badass, that onboard footage. Probably one of my favorite videos I've ever seen, so I'll play that on the way out too. And I guess we'll do this again in a couple weeks. Probably won't have much to talk about, but maybe we'll drag it on.
Heading to the Nitro Chaos.
Yeah,
we're going next.
Yeah, when's that?
The first weekend of April.
Oh,
the
so
fourth,
that's
fifth, fourth, yeah, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
So that's happening pretty fast.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We're
get that
racing in like 3 weeks.
I guess I was busy looking at comments over here, and
Jimmy's got to get on another flight.
Yeah.
At least it's just one this time. You'll be all right.
Fly me out there. I work too many damn days in a row. I need to go do something.
That's right. Let's go. Hell yeah. We'll all go out there. That's going to be a great race, man. I mean, all the way around, I talk a lot of shit about 8th Mile racing, but the overall, the overall, the race in general is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I think they said they have like 24 Nitro Chaos cars, in the deal now. So they're having an A, B, and C field.
Okay, so now this is the original like Funny Car Chaos race, the big one that first happened.
Yeah,
yeah. So not just Funny Car Chaos; it's funny cars and dragsters and anything front engine, right?
So they got the Funny Car Chaos race going on, the Nitro Chaos race going on. My good old buddies over there at the TDRA, Texas Drag Racing Association, they'll be there. I think Outlaw Gassers. He normally has 2 or 3 other. Yeah, it's a hell of a good show. The best one ever, though, man, was whenever Palmer had that damn Top Fuel margarita machine there. Like, that shit was crazy, dude. Like, I want him to bring that back.
Weird stuff happens in Texas, right?
Yeah, it's a hell of a show, but it should be fun.
Cool. All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up. An hour and 30 minutes. That seems like enough time. So until next time, Jimmy. Michael,
all right, man.
We'll shut this thing off and we'll go back about our business. Good night.
Later, boys. See ya.
Tomorrow.
Later.
Yep. Bye.
Congratulations, Rick. Hey, congratulations.
The entire first round of Top Fuel.
First round of Top Fuel Eliminator is
Michael Anderson.
Jimmy Young, the Auto Club lane.
Ryan Hall.